No, I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday.
I went to a seminar about death.
Okay, you have to tell. Well, you're just telling me this now.
I know, yeah.
Please share.
Why? I have a friend.
Why were you there, and what did you learn?
I learned that no one really dies, and that it's just an experience in the physical form, and we're attached to our personalities, but that we're just souls, and that we continue and continue and continue.
The late Nipsey Hussle's former bodyguard recently made claims that have generated significant discussion. He alleged that following Nipsey's passing, Lauren London made unexpected decisions that surprised many people and dramatically shifted the public narrative. The situation became more complicated when Brick Baby, a figure closely associated with Nipsey, interjected to address long-standing online rumors. Though he did not explicitly state the details, his veiled hints about certain private conversations immediately drew attention. This brought back memories of Wack 100's past claims that he possessed private, sensitive footage related to Nipsey claims that were largely dismissed as attention-seeking at the time. However, when Brick Baby offered a similarly suggestive comment, omitting specific names or facts, the reaction was different. He implied that there was behind-the-scenes pressure regarding certain personal matters. Although he confirmed nothing, the internet quickly sensationalized his remarks, which deeply affected Nipsey's fanbase. Some people on social media criticized Brick Baby, calling him disloyal for even addressing the topic and suggesting he was attempting to damage Nipsey's legacy. Conversely, others defended him, arguing he was simply commenting on gossip that had been circulating in the community and online for years, even if it remains unproven. The online comments reflected the polarized views, with one user stating, "You can never destroy Nipsey's legacy," and another adding, "Who cares what Nip was doing in his personal life? He was solid and changed the culture. Respect the measure of a man." The most shocking moment came when Brick Baby claimed that Lauren London had allegedly become aware of these sensitive rumors before Nipsey's death. This statement stunned observers. If true, the online consensus suggested it would mean she was not completely blindsided by the tragedy. The implication was that she was already dealing with emotional distress and frustration prior to the event. Once Brick Baby introduced this element, the public's understanding of the entire storyline shifted. People began re-examining the timeline, connecting previously ignored details, leading to suspicion and questions. Some viewers felt that the details no longer aligned, suggesting a possibility that certain actions were intentional. This new perspective led people online to revisit rumors regarding Lauren London's alleged connection to Diddy. While the timeline concerning that particular situation has always been ambiguous, the whispers surrounding it have never entirely ceased.
A photo of Nipsey engaged in something which I will never put out.
Yeah.
Right? And that's his personal business.
Yeah.
And, based on what Wack is talking, and this is what I mean, like with Wack, a lot of the stuff he says
ain't really
comes out as true.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
But
so what I'm saying is, I didn't see the video that Wack is talking about, but I do have a photo that someone sent me. And it's definitely it's Nipsey in the photo, and I'm not going to go into any more details with that.
Nah, I understand that, but then the video, right? It never said that it was man on man having intercourse. It's like a train was ran.
Yes,
that's from the narrative, whatever they put out, because I've never seen.
Rumor blogs continued to speculate, heavily suggesting that Lauren London was associating closely with Diddy, even attending exclusive, industry-only events hosted by his circle. This led people to raise difficult questions. Why was Lauren's name suddenly appearing in these social circles? Why did her ties to Diddy seem to strengthen just as Nipsey Hussle's career was rapidly ascending? And why did some of her statements after Nipsey's death feel nuanced or off to those paying close attention? It is important to note that few people ever wanted to question Lauren, given the evident love Nipsey had for her. Nipsey and Lauren had built a family, and she was consistently by his side for every interview, red carpet appearance, and major milestone. She was his public partner. However, as her name is repeatedly linked online to Diddy's inner circle, people on social media have begun asking the most uncomfortable question of all. Was she truly a steadfast partner to Nipsey? Or was she maintaining relationships with conflicting interests without public awareness? The strategic removal theory. This is where the online discourse takes an even darker turn. For years, many people in the streets and online have refused to believe that Nipsey's passing was a random act of violence. They argued that he was too intelligent, too driven, and too respected to be killed over common neighborhood issues. The persistent rumor has always suggested that this was not merely a shooting, but a removal, a strategic, controlled hit orchestrated by powerful forces operating beyond the surface story. Nipsey was known for not conforming to industry norms. He did not defer to executives or rely on major labels for validation. He moved as an independent leader, respected like a king. The higher he climbed, the more he seemed to disrupt the control certain powerful figures held. This independent nature alone could have positioned him as a threat to the established industry machine. When combined with online chatter suggesting he possessed sensitive knowledge, had powerful connections, and was rising too fast to be contained, he appeared to some at the top like a major threat. Following Diddy's recent legal troubles and the conversations surrounding the RICO case, the internet erupted with unproven theories claiming Diddy was allegedly involved in orchestrating the hit. Regardless of whether these claims are believed, the core point that Nipsey's death was not random continues to circulate in online forums. The insider theory and confirmed connection. Online conversations began pushing a theory that if Diddy had any involvement, which has never been proven, he could not have acted alone. Internet users speculated that an insider, someone close to Nipsey, trusted by him, and unlikely to raise suspicion, would have been needed to feed information. The name most frequently circulated in comment sections was Lauren London, despite a complete lack of confirmation. The conversation gained traction when artist Jaguar Wright publicly claimed that Lauren was the one who introduced Nipsey to Diddy. While this was initially dismissed as exaggerated, old video clips then resurfaced. In one clip from The Breakfast Club, Nipsey himself stated, "It was Lauren who introduced me to Puff." This single, confirmed line generated a huge online reaction. The connection was suddenly fact, not just a rumor. Once this bond was established, theories multiplied. Viewers began to wonder, what if Lauren wasn't just a girlfriend? What if she was placed? Others suggested she might have been the unintentional link, bringing Nipsey into industry orbits he was actively trying to avoid. Viewing the situation from this perspective altered the context for many observers. Old photos also began recirculating, showing Lauren and Diddy displaying a level of comfort that made some fans uneasy, a familiarity beyond what would be expected between a partner and his industry mentor. In one of these photos, Nipsey is visibly standing in the background, appearing somewhat like a third wheel, fueling intense speculation in the comment sections. While there was no sign of immediate conflict or drama, the strange dynamic only seemed to make sense to people after they started re-examining the entire timeline.
With the biggest rapper at the time, everything's great. By the way, isn't she? Lauren is the one that introduced Nip to Diddy. Diddy couldn't even get to Nip, even though he had ties in L.A. It was Lauren that brought Nip.
Following Nipsey's passing, Lauren London gave a composed and emotional interview to Angie Martinez. A particular moment from that conversation continues to be cited by viewers because it was so jarring. Lauren quoted advice Diddy had given her, a detail the internet seized upon. She recounted Diddy telling her, "Look, boo, you've shown the world what it looks like to hold a man down. Now show them what it looks like when it all crumbles. That's your responsibility." This quote immediately caused confusion and scrutiny. Online users questioned, why was Diddy using the nickname Boo, which was a term of endearment Nipsey also used? Why did Diddy have such a personal level of access to speak to her in this manner? And why did his message feel so intense, almost like a calculated directive? Fans online felt the exchange carried puppet master energy, suggesting Diddy might have been guiding her through a predetermined public narrative. However, Lauren then revealed an even more baffling detail that visibly puzzled Angie Martinez on camera. She disclosed that she had attended a death seminar before Nipsey's death. This revelation stunned the internet. Viewers questioned why someone would attend such a seminar just before the unexpected loss of their partner, speculating she might have been mentally preparing or sensing that a significant tragedy was imminent. This single detail completely changed the tone of the interview, shifting the focus from pure grief to intense questioning of the timing, and the mystery surrounding it continues to fuel debates. The victory lap and life after death theory. Another controversial piece of information was introduced by Gene Deal, a former member of Diddy's security team. Deal claimed that Nipsey once asked Diddy for guidance on how to ensure his album, Victory Lap, carried the same powerful, lasting energy as the Notorious B.I.G.'s Life After Death. Deal stated that Diddy even hinted at the idea himself. At the time, this anecdote seemed harmless. But when fans recalled that Biggie's album was released posthumously, the internet began drawing speculative connections, even though there is no evidence to support them. The theory quickly gained momentum across comment sections, and Gene Deal's comments were widely replayed. Deal suggested that allowing Diddy to get involved might have been Nipsey's biggest mistake. Following this alleged interaction, online claims suggested Nipsey began spending significantly more time at Diddy's mansion than in his own studio. Observers watching from the outside began pointing out that during this period, Nipsey appeared stressed, distant, and drained. Fans noted that he seemed to be carrying a heavier burden, sparking a new wave of speculation about his mental state. The street theory, an uncomfortable rise. The pervasive street theory circulating online proposes the following. Diddy allegedly perceived Nipsey's rapid rise, his growing influence, and his success in motivating others toward independent action as a direct threat, making him uncomfortable. To reiterate, this remains internet chatter with absolutely no proof, but it has done nothing to quell the increasingly vocal debates every year. This street talk intensifies with the claim that once Nipsey began moving too independently, certain entrenched figures in the industry began to actively oppose him.
Ego. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me. You know, I want to get into real estate. I want you to teach me all your, you know what I mean? Like your business secrets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap. So a lot of people don't know this. We got them to change it. In Wikipedia, somebody over at the label tried to leave my name out, but he came to me and said, I want you to be a part of helping me finish up this album. And so I was a part of not just the records I was on with him on his last album. He was like, yo, I'm a big fan of like Life After.
Online observers noted that Nipsey's mindset was radically independent. He was not interested in being controlled, signing away his creative rights, or conforming to the industry's established, old-fashioned rules. This level of confidence and self-reliance, they argued, made certain powerful figures quickly nervous. Rumor pages began circulating stories about music executives who allegedly wanted Nipsey to comply with their demands, but he continuously disregarded them, remaining focused on his own unique business blueprint. Fans assert that they could visibly notice a change. The more he successfully built his movement, the more the atmosphere around him seemed to grow tense, suggesting an invisible pressure was mounting. People online persistently commented that he appeared burdened, carrying a heavy weight on his mind. Around the same time, earlier clips of Nipsey speaking about ownership, building a legacy, and dismantling old industry systems resurfaced. When viewers watched these interviews again, they felt he was subtly alluding to intense pressure he was facing behind the scenes. Although he never named any individuals, the serious tone in those old conversations caused fans to re-examine all his past statements with a new, suspicious mindset. The core theory, threat to control. The most dominant rumor, which the internet refuses to abandon, is the claim that specific industry figures allegedly wanted to co-opt Nipsey's success to personally profit from his rise, not because they genuinely supported his vision. When he stood firm and insisted on retaining his independence, the theory posits that he fundamentally offended the wrong powerful people. Regardless of whether these theories are based on truth or merely online speculation, the recurring sentiment in the community remains the same. When someone rises too fast, people already in power begin to panic. This idea alone has kept the conversation and the speculation surrounding Nipsey Hussle's death burning intensely every year.
Now, you taking a spiritual person who's asking for something. He said, I wanted that same feel as life after death. That same feel was that Biggie got, and he went on to sell about 10 million albums or 10 million copies. I was saying, you gotta watch what you say to demons, because it just might come.
Online rumor pages persistently advance the idea that if certain powerful figures could not successfully control an independent person like Nipsey, their next step would be to attempt to remove him. While entirely unproven, even these street theories suggest that an insider would have been necessary to enable this, someone who could grant access to circles or situations Nipsey would normally avoid. This is the point where social media speculation consistently shifts focus to Lauren London, entirely based on conjecture, not evidence. With Diddy currently facing legal consequences, online users are now predicting that more names connected to him may surface, leading to an extremely active discussion in comment sections. One user wrote, summarizing a common sentiment, "I always believed this. I never trusted Lauren since people first started saying she got Nipsey hurt. Tanisha said it first, and people mocked her, but she was telling the truth." Another commenter recalled a significant detail. "Remember when Lauren said at the memorial she didn't even want to show up? She said she talked to Puffy and he convinced her to be strong for him and for the loss." Fans also repeatedly highlight the fact that Sean Puffy Combs is credited as an executive producer on Victory Lap, Nipsey's last album, a detail that further fuels online speculation despite the lack of confirmation. The public discussion has now distilled down to the biggest unanswered questions. Did Lauren London know more about the underlying issues than she ever revealed? Was she simply and genuinely grieving the loss of her partner? Or was there a deeper, undisclosed situation unfolding behind the scenes? With Diddy facing consequences, the speculation continues about whose names the community might start discussing next.